Good morning, my fellow yoga travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, learn, love, and linger. Anyway, it's Friday, so it's my PowerPoint, my literary presentation. The images can help you unravel some of the paradoxes of life that we face. But here we go for today. This is called a work in progress. This is Rabbi Zalman Schachter, who started the Aquarian conspiracy back in the 60s. And first thing is the teaching about finding home. In yoga, it's called darshan, when you have the view of the guru. There are 3 levels of letting go of your problems. In the Jewish tradition, they say, when you go to see your rabbi on Shabbos, it's as soon as you walk into the town that you let go of some of your burdens, because now you know you're within the aura of his influence. But there are other people who know they're burdened by something deeper than that, and it's not until they actually cross the threshold of the rabbi's house, and once they step through the door and they're in the rabbi's home, then they feel like, okay, I can let everything go now and just surrender to the spiritual influences. But then people who are so burdened, it's not until they see the rabbi's face that they can take that sigh of relief and know that everything's going to be all right. Now, in order to do this, you have to understand that you can't get into the temple or to the sacred space with arrogance. You can't go in there with a big ego, and once you're on the inside of the building, say, all right, come on, Krishna, come on, give me a revelation. Where are you? Appear to me. Because that kind of arrogance, with that kind of arrogance, you don't understand that you didn't get into the temple to begin with, because the temple isn't external. It's something inside. It's a quality of sanctity that you have to carry with you, and if you reverence nothing, you never get into the temple. Now, in the Buddhist tradition, we say the Dharma doesn't suffer in comparison to any teaching. The 3 baskets are the teachings that are compiled together. There's one teaching just for the monks and nuns and all the regulations that you need to when you're no longer involved in the lay public. Then there's the actual discourses, the verbal transmissions that supposedly the Buddha shared. And then there's the philosophy, the Abhidharma, the psychology behind the internal states that they say you can get to if you do deep meditation. Now, what you learn from the Buddhists and also from the yogis is this tripartite reminder of the poisons, the 3 negative confusions in your mind: passion, aggression, and ignorance, as symbolized here by the snake, the cock, and the bird. Each one has its own kind of emotional negativity. So be careful about clinging, condemning, and forgetting what's going on. Now, when you listen to the teaching, each person has a different way of fielding what they hear, but you're looking for the impact statement that has the ring of truth, that awakens the aha, and you really get it. And each one of you has a different ability to perceive that and recognize that. So part of the path is also putting to rest the things that are gone, whether you've gone beyond them or whether they left you through interruptions of the status quo, deaths along the way, things you have to mourn and grieve over, but put them to rest so you can move on. But it's important to use your grief, because tears normalize your brain chemistry. There's nothing wrong with that. Not only is there nothing wrong, you can't be a normal human being unless you let your tears flow, because it hurts, doesn't it? Sure. But emotions are also divine influxes, like in that poem, The Guest House. Every day, a new visitor. Welcome all. They could be bringing you a gift from the beyond, right? So allow the emotions to be there. Don't suppress them, because they all have a way of giving you information and coming to closure. Now, it's interesting. I love this. Technology can blind you even more. So avoid self-medication and money management. So here's the blind guy leading the tech bro across the street. And you got to remember that when you listen to these old stories, they're storehouses of wisdom. You have to leave your own time and go into a mythic time, in another time, like when you hear a fairy tale, once upon a time, right? And each part of the story shows you a different character in your own personality. You have to internalize everything in the story rather than thinking it's all outside you. There's psychological aspects of the way your personality behaves. So there's always these subjective associations in your mind in addition to the literal meaning of the story. How many times I always say the denotative and connotative meaning. We all know what the dictionary says the word means, but how does it specifically mean or has history in you? What's the meaning it has for you? Like we say family, it could be what? One child family, 12 kids in the family, divorced family, absent father family, right? Alcoholic person, whatever, right? So we understand family, but the connotative meaning has to do with your specific family. And that's what you project onto the story, the life that you have actually lived. So when I say you listen to a story, you have to listen for what I call the energy rise, the thing that perks you up, whether it's something that's silly, whether it's something that's profound, whether it's something you can't believe, whether it's something that challenges you. That energy rises your doorway into the story. And you never understand the story. An understood story is a dead story. So there's always some kind of mystery to it, but it's worth going into it, even if you're not sure what it means. Then all of what we do is to help you understand the self with the capital S. Sometimes I symbolize it as the king or the queen, the part of you that blesses other people, that's there to liberate the oppressed aspect of other people, because you are a center of initiative and creativity, and from you the celestial forces flow down into the terrestrial realms where you can give of the abundance, because that's why you've been put in that position to lead, is to share all the wealth and wisdom that you have. Now it's interesting, it says knowledge and action converts adversity into prosperity. That's a good one. And so they always say, how long is it going to take? If you're asking that question, you'll never get it. Like when they go to the Zen master, how long will it take you to teach me Zen? And he says, how long will it take you to bring me a mind that doesn't measure? So you commit to the work, however long and however hard is necessary to do it. But then once you do commit to however long and however hard it is, you don't have to work that long or hard. So that's a little paradox. But you have to go into it being willing to work for as long and hard as necessary. And not just intellectually know, it won't be as long as hard. Don't think that. Just get into it, work, see what happens. And then you got to be a thief. You got to be stealthy. You got to take time away from all the other things that distract you on the internet, right? AI, consumerism, all that stuff that pulls you out of focusing on your inner world and making your spiritual world the most important connection that you have. So what are you going to steal time away from? You got to be stealthy here. And then, of course, take your time. Integrated practice does not arrive full-blown. It takes a while after working on yourself, purifying yourself in some way, still making mistakes. We're all not perfect, but keep calm because you're a work in progress. And then probably most important of all is the realization that we thrive in community, to let go of the self-reference to find community. The short story that I say is the guy went to visit his rabbi on Shabbos, and the rabbi was a guy who had some psychic power, and he said, you can't stay here. He says, why not? I came to be with you. He says, I see the specter of death around you, and you can't be here. You have to go. And he was crestfallen. So he went back out on the road, and he was walking a long time or a short time, whatever time it takes, and then he came across a bunch of Hasids going to meet the rabbi, and they said to him, why are you so glum? He said, well, I went to the rabbi, and he saw the spirit of death around me, and so he said I couldn't stay there. And so they said to him, well, listen, if something's going to happen to you, you shouldn't be alone. Come with us anyway, and at least we'll take care of you. And they were going on the road, and they happened to say, listen, we're very poor. Do you have any money? He says, yeah, I'm quite wealthy. He says, well, let's stop at a tavern and have a little celebration. So they stopped, and they drank a little bit, and they went l'chaim to life. And after 1 or 2 rounds of l'chaim to life, and 3 rounds l'chaim to life, they went back in their cart, and they went back to the rabbi's house. And when they got to the rabbi's house, the rabbi said, what happened to you? I don't see the specter of death surrounding you anymore. You see, there's something that even the holy rabbi can't do, but the community can do in regenerating you and bringing you back to life. So maybe in our day and age, the reference isn't to the solitary self, but to the self as a reference of not just internalized deity, but internalized community. I hope that you find the community that works for you. Have a great day.